Welcome again to NyuMu, the most consistent new music podcast. Ooh, can't even talk. Recorded from a closet. What? Yeah, that's it. Recorded from a college closet. I'm your host, Safari, and we're going to be talking about the latest in new music from all around the globe, every country on the globe. Because I don't have our little slogan shit, motto, whatever written down. So I'm just going off the dome. I am a little bit in a rush because I have to go back to the college closet because I've been at the residential for a bit. But I had to get this podcast out to you guys, so I'm gonna do it. First, we got the news drop, but we don't have a news drop because there was nothing in between Thursday's episode and this episode. And yes, I said Thursday. The things that I referred to as Wednesday episodes before, the new project mixes, and the artist spotlights, those will actually be on Thursday, not Wednesday. So I'm gonna stop saying Wednesday. The next episode will be on January 11th. Just some housekeeping stuff. Bam, there you go. So we're doing things a little differently again. For the upteenth time, I'm switching things around. Today we got the standout track first because I'm just like, why am I putting the standout track in the midst of all this other shit? Let me just get the standout track out of the way because it's stand out. It's stand out above the crowd. That's a little Goofy movie throwback for you. So first we got Ohyo with Honey Tea. She's a Korean singer-songwriter, and this is a little bit kind of like indie popped. Popped? What is that word? Indie pop. Um, if you speak English, which I mean, everybody who listens to this podcast probably speaks English, probably. Then you can enable subtitles on the video, so you can figure out what the lyrics are. And the lyrics for this song really helped kind of give me some more, depth to understand or whatever have you. The bass guitar in this song, I gotta say, for off the bat, just really melds well with the songwriter, and as it came to understand it, the lyrics, just because I feel like the instrumentation plays off the vocals and what the person is trying to say, and every emotional turn kind of in the lyrics really is amplified by the instrumentation of the bass guitar, which mimics this keyboard, which almost sounds a little organy, but not really. It's like this really I guess kind of tinny sound. I don't even know the right word to explain it. It's kind of like a chilly, kind of like I think it's called like a roto organ or like something like that. It kind of has that kind of, or like a Rhodes. It kind of has that kind of feel. One of those things is the right thing. I'm not sure which kind of keyboard it's more like, but it's like one of those things, like a roto organ or like a Rhodes. I don't know. I'm just literally in my head. I'm just going through like FL Studios, FL keys or whatever it's called, Fruity keys or whatever it's called, and I'm just like, it sounds like one of those samples. But that's not what's important. The song comes in and it feels like it might be like a bedroom pop song because it feels like kind of solo. So bedroom pop isn't the best word, but it feels like it's gonna be like a solo kind of acoustic kind of feel. But when the bass guitar comes in and it like works together with the keyboard or whatever have you, it feels more cohesive, like a band song. And it really just adds a sense of depth because you think you're gonna get another one song, but it comes out with another. And the lyrical choice is all types of interesting as well. Because I go into this song with the complete understanding of exactly the sensation she's talking about in the song. She's makes tea for herself, whatever. She drinks the tea, but as she's drinking, she just randomly starts crying as a trigger. And she's like, yeah, I guess it was, like I feel some kind of sadness, but it's also kind of weird. And that sensation, I feel like isn't highlighted as much as I would like to be like in music because it's a real thing. I used to think in art when people talked about like I guess the proper word is triggers, but more so like symbolic objects. Like I always kind of brush it off because I'm just like, what the fuck is a symbolic object? What do you mean? You just looked at a picture or you looked at a baseball glove or some, I don't know, and you start crying. It just felt like really contrived to me. I'm like, nobody actually does that. Like that's not a real thing. But coming to terms with mourning and stuff like that, you come to realize, oh, this is a real thing that people actually go through, whatever, whatever. And I don't know. Anytime somebody kind of comes from that perspective, I'm just like instantly intrigued. Like, wow, because I've recently been kind of like curious about that kind of concept of the symbolic object and placing all this emotion that you had for a certain circumstance or situation in this object. And I feel like it's interesting that it's the sense of the tea. It's not just like, oh, there's this glove or something, and every time I see it, I cry. It's like, no, like the scent brings her brain back, like from like a psychological, physiological perspective. It brings her back to this time that for some reason makes her cry. And that's what's more intriguing to me. The whole like idea of like psychological triggers or symbolic objects cropping up in music. And I feel like that kind of plays with the turns and the song and then the music video. And I like to talk about music videos in this podcast specifically just because I feel like people kind of sleep on music videos, like, oh, it doesn't really matter, blah 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 blah. But I feel like they help add some depth and complexity to a song that might have always been there, but this the visual aspect of seeing it and like making the connections really helps solidify whatever message that an artist is trying to make. And so when she gets on an elevator and she sees this flower, but it was like also the same flower that was in like the same frame of the music video. When she gets on the elevator, like kind of towards the middle of this music video, and there's like a teddy bear. Like a guy comes on the elevator with a teddy bear, and she sees a teddy bear, and it looks like she has another like psychological kind of trigger, and that's how I kind of figured that she was like, going towards that kind of um avenue. And so she looks at the teddy bear or whatever, and then she goes back to her apartment and it's just there. Like this the teddy bear just in her living room, and then in another frame it's just gone. Like it's so crazy. It kind of reminds me of I have not seen Get Out, right? But it reminds me of Get Out, the scene where like the lady has the tea and like she's swirling it, and like the main character starts crying and he's like starts thinking about like the past or some shit. Or at least that's what I think that happened in that movie. It's the exact same phenomenon, and I'm just like really intrigued by that phenomenon in general. So this was like a really interesting thing for me. Next, we got our new track segment. It's cool to just go into the new track segment because I don't have to feel like pent up like, oh my god, I can't wait to talk about the standout track. Like I already got that out the way, you know. Um, so that's cool. First we got MC Nando DK with DJ Calvillo with the song Comensal de Frente. Well, you'll know because you can just look at the notes. They're on my Twitter page at Choto Safari, TYOTTOSTEFARI. You just go to my Twitter page, go to my bio. In the bio, it'll have the notes for this episode. So if I butcher something, it'll just be there. Anyways, so this is a funk song. It's interesting. It has two prominent loops, like an acoustic sounding loop, um, that's like kind of like of a drums. I'm not a drum of a guitar sample. It's like a sputtering guitar or whatever. And then you come back and it has like at the beginning, like the first loop, because I did that out of order. You see, I'm scatterbrained. So the first part is like this drum loop, and it's like a very percussive, acoustic sounding drum. Like I don't know, like you literally out there banging on like some pots and pans or some shit. Like it's just like hard. It's hard as fuck. And I think that this song was really interesting because people usually in funk music take a very like synthetic approach to instrumentation and specifically a synthetic approach to percussion. And the only really artificial sounding thing in this song is probably like the sub bass, like the huge boom. But everything else feels like it came together kind of organically, other than like the guitar is sputtering in a way that like guitars don't sputter in real life, so it's clearly a guitar sample. I thought that whatever DJ Calvillo did with the beat was really interesting, and I don't really hear that kind of sound in modern funk music in Brazil, so that's cool. um one point I want to make about this song is like MC Nando's DK's vocal performance, because a lot of people claim that with songs like Gucci Gang, whatever, um, yeah, I'm just listening for the beat. Which I remember when we were recording for the first, very very first episode of NyuMu and like the NyuMu preseason. Josie was like, yeah, I kind of like trap music, but only for like the beats. Like I don't like what the the whatever the person has to say. I feel like people like trap music for both, not necessarily because the trap artist is lyrical. And this has to do with Baile Funk because there's some comparisons. Like people say like look, the lyrics are vapid or they're stupid or whatever. Sometimes with some artists, and I feel like this song speaks to like vocal delivery and performance makes a song. Cause like without this, vocal delivery, this is just two loops. Like you say that, oh, you listen to it for the beat, but the beat and the vocal performance are the beat. Like they're all like the same thing. So yeah, like while somebody might be saying something stupid or like irrelevant or simplistic on a beat, it's what couples that vocal delivery that and it's sorry, it's what couples the beat. Like the vocal delivery that couples the beat is what makes the songs. I'm trying to say. So just keep that in mind. Next we got uh Nejiko with Calypso Musume ni Hanataba. Oh, uh, sorry for that like super jagged response, but it's Japanese pop music and it has like some trumpet in it. I'm just like, wow, trumpet, yeah. Just get my palate going, get my mouth watering a little bit. And the song is interesting because the trumpet adds like that grand sense, but it's not like grand like I'm trying to be like orchestral or something. It's grand like when you're playing like Mario, and you get like it's grand in that sense. Like it's like like I'm talking about Tidu Mario. I'm not talking about like Mario Odyssey because that's grand in like the grand sense. This is grand in like that minor sense, like dun dun dun. It really sounds like a Mario theme song. I don't know why, but that is really keyed in. It just sounds like a Mario theme song. So if you get what that means, got you. I'm sure everybody's played Mario, bruh. Um, the vocalists though, I feel like they have, to my understanding, they've been doing like they've been in a group together for a while, and you can tell because they have their own distinctness, they have their own pockets, they play off each other pretty well, and I feel like that's not something you hear typically. Sadly enough, that's not something you hear a lot in Japanese pop music with these bands or groups, these singing groups. A lot of the time, it just seems like there's one voice, and it's just being amplified times however many members there are on a song. So if there are 16 members in a song, it's just like one voice amplified 16 times. But these people, they sound like they have their own like distinct like little pocket, and they kind of like play off that, and I really enjoy that. The bouncing piano in this song functions as a really interesting opening instrument and driving force behind the song, but it's the maracas that just get you in that danceable mood. I want to see how many weeks this year we get of straight maracas because we had a harmonica streak. Maybe it'll be like 1 week we get maracas and the next week we get harmonicas. Like I would be all for that. Like I'm ready for it, truly. Next we got MC Kayo with Bota tu Nella, which is like a baile funk song again, or funk song, whatever, whichever one you prefer. With like a R&B style like singing. The song is strange in that it's sung entirely, which doesn't usually happen, and when it does happen, it's like MC Kevio with a song like Rebola, or a song like Tu Appassionato Nessamina or something like that. And this is different in that it's falsetto. So like MC Kevino sings in his register or whatever. But this song is super falsetto. Like The Weeknd almost kind of, but not super like expressive like The Weeknd tries to be in some songs. It's more like when The Weeknd was reserved in like his earlier mixtapes, kind of like that. Um, the song and the singer come off a lot less abrasive than a large number of MCs in funk right now, and it's interesting because it's so fresh. Like you don't really get like this kind of voice. I will say that the mixing in the song has tons of clipping in the iTunes version, but the version that got uploaded to Conzilla's YouTube channel is, I don't know, it had to be edited so that the clipping would stop, so it's a little quiet. But I feel like the the vision for the song is still mostly kept. So it's not that big of a deal. It'll be interesting to see where this MC Kayo guy goes. because he has a similar pocket of this other artist that I was interested in for a minute, MC Chagano, who made Giget's Atrevido. I think that's how you pronounce the song. Um, or Gito Atrevido, which he made with MC Fiochi, uh, or Fioch. And he had like a single version of that where it was just him, and I that was like, I literally took the time out and I was like, I'm gonna learn these lyrics, and I mostly learned the lyrics, and I was gonna cover the song and everything. I was just enamored with that song, so infatuated, because it was just like such an interesting pocket. Like, I've been waiting. I didn't know that I was waiting for it, but I've been waiting for that pocket of like R&B and baile funk to just merge. And I feel like if MC Kyle can do it, he has like a bright future ahead of him, truly. Next, we got Sunday Moon with Million Miles. Korean singer songwriter, um, kind of like jazz poppy in some respects, like that chill wave kind, but not like synthy, not super synthy. Um, and the song is sung entirely in English, so that's just a precursor. You don't even have to like turn on the subtitles for this joint. You don't. It has more of a like I said, it has more of a distinct instrument, like jazz instrumentation aspect, and it has like a very chilly sounding guitar and keyboard. The keyboard, towards the end of it, though, turns into like this blaring synth, which is an interesting choice because the song is talking about being like a million miles away and in the shadows or the silence or something like that. And it has that feel of like being reserved but passionate, and I feel like that's what the whole like, you know keyboard, like reserved keyboard to blaring synth, kind of like encapsulates. Like, this is a reserved song, but then it's also a passionate song about like, being, disconnected from the person that you love, whatever, whatever. And I feel like the song is so winter. Like, I really enjoy songs that fit like a seasonal pocket, not necessarily like a holiday pocket. And I'm not talking about like Christmas, like, or something like that. I mean like something that feels like the cold. And this song feels like being snuggled up, staying warm, trying not to get frostbite, hypothermia, and fucking all types of crazy shit from the cold. Okay, it just feels like that. And the instrumental perspective speaks to that, and the lyrics speak to that, and it's just so compelling and gets me into that seasonal mood of being cold as fuck. Next, we got Ahmed Zaki. I'm gonna try to pronounce this right, and Halimo Gobad, maybe, with Ayahina Nolosha, maybe. This is Somali pop music, which I'm not sure if you guys know. It's kind of hard to find new Somali music on YouTube for whatever reason. The sputtering synth in the song, though, it gives it a lot of vibrancy. And I feel like this song is a key example of, you can take literally Casio pianos and get like load the fucking Casio piano samples onto computer, make a song, and if you have skill, creativity, or both, you can beat an expensive sounding instrumentation or expensive sounding beat. Like, it doesn't take that much. Truly, it does not take that much to make a good song. And this song sounds like, it doesn't sound like grand or like or expensively produced. It sounds like they made it with what they had, and I really appreciate that, because the song appeals to um me in a way that like maybe PC music appeals to me. Like, it's not crazy experimental or anything like that, but it kind of reminds me of what people would call like bubblegum pop, kind of, but not really. It's just, it has that high pitched kind of, sputtering a little bit, a little bit kind of cutesy aspect to it, and I really fuck with that. So, with the where they're going with that, it's like, it's an interesting thing to do. I look forward to listening to more Somali pop music, because like, there's not a lot coming out that I can find, at least. Next, we got Sydney Gish with "I'm Filled with Steak and Cannot Dance." Boston bedroom pop song, or at least it seems like that. So the song has this interesting build up. It comes on as pretty bedroom pop, and then it has like this release to it. And when the like second electric guitar comes in, and there's like this chime synth. It sounds more like an anthem than like a bedroom pop song. Which, if you can believe that there's bedroom pop anthems that, like, I don't know, you would play like a sports event or something. Like if you were trying to get hype, if you can believe that there are hype bedroom pop songs, damn, this is the one for you. The lyrics have that kind of like indie quirkiness to it. Like, let's talk about bearskin rugs. I mean, bearskin rugs, pretty hard topic to mess up. If anybody talks about bearskin rugs in their song, like, it's probably gonna be at least interesting. And it's just that style that, I don't know, I feel like it's really interesting. You take a song and you give it that kind of like, you know, bedroom pop, lo-fi kind of style, and then you come out of nowhere with like a whole anthem, and I'm just like, fuck, man, like, let's hear this again. Like, let's hear more of that. I'm probably gonna be talking about her album "I'm Filled with Steak and Cannot." Sorry, is that the name of the album? Shit, I do not remember her name of the album, but I will definitely be hitting that shit up on the 11th, and we'll be on that. So just watch out for that, because I'm definitely gonna be talking about Sydney Gish again. Next, we got Bruno Mars featuring Cardi B with Finesse remix. This song is a New Jack Swing song, and it's, to me, it's proof of anything. Like, if it's proof of anything, it's proof that seasoned marketing, regardless of what I just said about the Sunday Moon song, A Million Miles Away. I'm not sure if I even said the name of that fucking song. But regardless of the Sunday Moon song, which you should also go hear, seasoned marketing does not matter. This song is not a winter song. It is very hype. It's talking about dripping in finesse. It sounds like a summer song, okay? Or what a summer song, air quotes, or like a spring or fall song. It does not sound like a winter song. It does not sound like snuggling up in the most wonderful time of the year. None of that shit. But the reception for this song has been extremely like overwhelming, especially in comparison to JT's song that I'll be talking about, Filthy. And I'm only going to be talking about the album version, because the music video version, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the music video. We're not talking about what was in it. No. We're just not going there. But what I want to say is New Jack Swing. Question mark? Like, are we about to go into like a New Jack Swing wave? I know this song is like 2 years old. It was on that 24 Karat Magic album, and Cardi B remixed it, and she gave a verse that was very nostalgic. I feel like we're going to go into a nostalgic wave, like a nostalgic tide of just like, I feel like a New Jack Swing could happen, because another song that I heard this week, it was a Korean song, and it was like something 94 edition or 94 version, and it was a Korean pop song that they redone to sound like New Jack Swing, and I'm just like, holy shit, is New Jack Swing about to come back? Because we haven't had a nostalgic wave in a while, and I feel like eventually people are gonna get tired of trap music. Will trap music be replaced by fucking New Jack Swing? That'd be crazy. That'd be so insane. I mean, so it's just something to think about. Next, we got Markeb Baryagabir with Brum Bum Brum Bum Brum Bum Da-na-na, da-na-na. Uh, that was a part of the beat, not the title. Ethiopian, I want to get this right, but I'm not going to. Gwaila hip hop. So, is my understanding that Gwaila is like a traditional type of Ethiopian slash Eritrean music, perhaps, maybe. I'm learning. I'm still pretty unfamiliar with Ethiopian music, so I was kind of surprised to see that this is considered to be hip hop. But it made sense once I was like, oh, like these are like the verse structures. These are like, the singing, like the hooks or whatever. And one thing that this song has in common with Alo in particular, the song that I talked about in the first episode of this season, is that it has this interesting like call and response thing. So like the rapper is like rapping, he's like "Ta-na-na-na-na," and then like this girl comes, and he's just like moi moi, and then this girl comes out and she starts talking, and then he's like responding, but then it goes back to the song. Like, I'm not sure what that like is, but that's the second time I've seen it. Not sure if that's like a concurrent thing, like you have like this like call and response thing like in the middle of the song. But hey, shit works for me. I was like thinking this shit is interesting. Like, again, I feel like a whole nother world of music that you're just not getting to see in the Western world or whatever the fuck they call it. The instrumental detail though is really interesting. Like, there's like these background vocals that are all like whoa 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 whoa, and then and then there's like crashing cymbals and like there's like flutes. This flute sounding instrument. It's probably not a flute, but it gives it like this really danceable vibe, and it's just like it's a bop. It's a bop. That's like, come on, man. Like, we're ethnic. It's a bop, fam. And one thing I thought was so hilarious is a YouTube commenter said that this song was like the Chungana man's not hot. Like, which is funny because I was like, in the music video, homeboy has an umbrella, and I'm just like, all I can think is man's not hot. Like, why is he's in a whole suit? He's in a whole suit and it's hot, and homeboy is like, I'm still gonna stunt with my fucking shiny ass suit and my umbrella. Like, I'm about that. Like, this is me. And the song definitely has that kind of like man's not hot catchiness. I'm not sure if it's like lyrically man's not hot, but I thought that was funny because I was thinking the same thing. Next we got Harsh Harry with Chuck Me Beat. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. This is Punjabi music, but I'm not sure if this is pop. Maybe it's pop. I'm not sure. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. But the percussion in this song, huge trap influence. Like, there's no escaping trap music right now. But this is in no way a trap song. The vocalist performance add that like rarely like that really interesting sense of depth to the song, because he's singing in this like expressive kind of like take your ass to the dance floor type like wave, and I really fuck with that. And I also fuck with that dance. I think it's called Bhangra, maybe Bhangra. I think that's also like a region. So shit. Like again, don't kill me. I'm not an expert. Just trying to give, my opinion on what's interesting here. But again, I truly don't know what genre to place this under, and I kind of want to talk about like genres for a bit. I I'm not sure how important it is for genres to exist. Like like a general genre. Like, if we can just generally call this pop music, fine. But if somebody wants to be like, this is blah 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 pop blah 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 thing, I feel like you really just tell people genres so that they know what they're getting into before they listen to it. But for whatever reason, people think it's bigger than that. You know, like kind of how like every Muse outlet that talked about Milo's or Scallops Hotels, whatever, last album that I talked about on Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry, I keep saying Wednesday. Said it was art rap. And in the album, Milo goes like, "What the fuck is art rapper?" Like, he talks shit about like the title art rap. And just like, why do people even care about genres? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you just called it rap, and then you explained how weird it is, then people would like, they just know. You don't have to say, "Oh, it's art rap," because it's like, I feel like the problem with genres is it's so general that it only is effective in the sense that you say this is what it's kind of going to sound like. But then like when something comes outside of the genre, then you have to make up more genre words, and then you forget the other genre words. Too much. Anyways, next we got Yunha, maybe. I think that's how you pronounce that. With Foresight Dream. Korean R&B music, really such a throwback to 2000s R&B, I feel like, in a lot of ways. It's just like got that kind of like snap your fingers type shit. Like, I don't know, like fucking Brandy. Remember Brandy back in like the 90s, late 90s? Kind of got that vibe to it. And the lyrics are very endearing. Kind of like a emotional roller coaster. There's like a lot of shots in the music video, like the singer like putting these red pills in water and stuff. I mean, they're probably just like, maybe they're like painkillers or something. Like, maybe they're definitely legal drugs, it seems like. But that's kind of interesting in the midst of talking about a relationship and how it's being ended. And the title of the song, Foresight Dream, is just so interesting to me because she's talking about this thing as if it's ended, but it's also called, it's foresight. So I'm just like, is she predicting that this is gonna happen, or like, because she's saying it shit as if it hasn't happened, but she's saying that it ended. And I'm just like, is this whole thing just talking about like how it's going to end, or like why it's going to end? She's just talking about like we're different and this and that, and it's an interesting lyrical kind of perspective. I like these songs that kind of make you ponder like the like the way time relates to what they're saying. Like I like the idea that like maybe there's like a time lapse or this is happening in like a weird time space. Like I fuck with that shit. Next we got Flacco with So What? You don't like my new shit? So what? Indianapolis rap. There's a clear attention to lyrics in this thing. Like but it's not trying. I feel like it's not trying to be lyrical to any degree. And that's gonna go into like another argument that I have like a little bit later. The instrumentation is subtle but effective, and the guitar at the end is strange in that it reminds me of like last decade's Lil Wayne. You know how like Lil Wayne tried to do that like rebirth shit, like like that type rap, like that little subtle like guitar electric guitar feature in the back end kind of reminds me of like Lil Wayne. I kind of got like flashbacks or whatever, like a little strange like Lil Wayne flashbacks. But um, I mean, just hey, it's interesting because nobody's really doing that shit anymore. But I feel like the difference between this song, the reason why I call this Indianapolis rap and not Indianapolis trap, is because I feel like there's a distinct difference, like a line being met. Like everything is trap influenced at this point, you know. But I feel like the distinguishing difference between trap and rap music is mumbling, and or that delivery, that trap delivery, or the subject matter. Because I feel like if you're not talking about trap shit, it's not trap. Like that's I'm just gonna leave it there. Like I'm not a trap aficionado, but I'm just saying here like if you're not talking about trap shit, your music is not trap. I feel like we can all come to an agreement on that, maybe. Next we got Justin Timberlake's Filthy. The album version though, okay? Justin Timberlake's synth pop song comes out of nowhere. He gives us this introducing the man of the woods shit, and he's like, his wife is talking about the mountains and the trees and the wild, wild west, but only today, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And the song is not the fucking mountains and the trees. We're just like, this is the song that nobody, sorry, this is a song that nobody wanted. Truly, this song is out of nowhere. What the fuck? The lyrics are super strange, talking about like, what you gonna do with all that meat? And I'm just like, oh god, Justin. I feel like what's interesting though is like this song's lyrics could have been swapped for anything. Like you take out like the filthy thing and you could just put another adjective in there. What you gonna do with all that something? Like, which is also clearly like a writing bite from Fergie's My Hump, which I'm not gonna take credit for that. Pitchfork let me know, and then I was like, oh, that makes so many sense, or so much sense. Which I guess would be a writing bite from will.i.am. Maybe will.i.am is credited for that. I don't know. But the song in that same vein is so 2008. Like this song is going back to that future love sounds, future sex, love. What is it called? Future sex, love sounds. It's going back to that like sexy back kind of era. And again, I'm talking about this nostalgia wave. Justin Timberlake seemed to think that the nostalgia would be coming from last decade. And Bruno Mars is coming from it like 2 decades ago. I feel like 2 decades ago will be more effective because people aren't really ready for last decade like yet. We still remember that shit. And we still remember how ass it was. So we need one more decade for people to feel like it was good. Okay? Because it takes 2 decades before people realize, like, oh, that was a good decade. Even though, like, it was bad. Like the decades are always bad, but like 2 decades later, people are always like, "Damn, that was such a good decade." Like, stop, stop. You must have forgot. Next we got Cupcake with Meet and Greet. Meet and Greet. This is a drill song. Chicago style drill. Cupcake is a Chicago artist, and she is the most brutal artist. I don't give a fuck. She's talking about wild shit, man. She's talking about like fucking sucking dick and killing niggas and in the same songs. And this new album she has called like Euphorize or something like that. That's definitely gonna be talking about that. But Cupcake is insane. She's on a whole nother level. And she has this interesting style because like half the time she'll be like super drill. And the other time she's on like her like techno shit, kind of like Vic Mensa. And shit, did I say Vic Mensa? No, I meant Vic Staples. Lol. Not Vic Mensa. Well, Vic Mensa kind of was on his techno shit too with like Down on My Luck and shit like that. But anyways, so she's kind of like, living in two lanes, but she's always super abrasive, super in your face, super like I will punch you any second, like super hard. Super vivid too. Like she just gives these really like interesting. Like when we get to her album, I might the whole segment when I talk about her album just give you lyrics from each song. Like that might just be the whole thing. Like here's a lyric from this song. It's absolutely fucking insane. And I just want to know if like Cupcake can go indie mainstream. I have this theory like there's mainstream and there's indie mainstream. Like Brockhampton is like indie mainstream where you're just like you're mainstream in the indie world. And then there's like being indie in the indie world where you're just like regular, and then there's being like underground. I feel like there's levels to this shit. Like there's the people who have like 1,000 views, there's the people who have like a few like tens of thousands of views, and the people who have like hundreds of thousands of views, like Brockhampton, you know? If you get more than like if you get 100,000 views on a song, then you're mainstream. Basically. That's basically how it goes at this point. Next we got Archangel with El Granjero. El Granjero. Hero? Okay, El Granjero. It's like so it's a Puerto Rican trap song that I can't pronounce. It's like it's talking about like, you know, trapping. You know, whipping them chickens and them donkeys. Which I don't really understand drug metaphors. I don't understand why we talk about animals when we talk about drug metaphors. But it's I don't know, I think Archangel is really comical, like in some respects. Like he's reserved, like kind of like reserved in the sense like 21 Savage is reserved, but he's not like a mumble rapper. Not necessarily to say 21 Savage is a mumble rapper anymore. I mean, like you can understand him. Like, I'm just trying not to offend 21 Savage because I also live in Atlanta. I respect this man. Like I'm not going down that lane. But I feel like he just has a kind of lane where he's just like a little different. The one use of the word bitch in this entire song, because I have this rule, 2018, we're not taking any of that misogyny shit, okay? Like that's okay. Like y'all gonna have to know that. But in the grand scheme of things, I feel like this use of it was kind of light. Like I feel like in modern rap music, the consensus seems to be that if somebody says my bitch or life's a bitch, that's somehow like not misogynistic / sexist to some degree. If that's a problem, hey, like trust me, I know. But I feel like it's tolerable. Like when somebody's like my bitch said blah 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 blah. Like as long as you're not just being like fuck women, she's a bitch, she's a hoe, she's a slut. I feel like people are just like, okay, that's not misogyny. But if somebody's just like, yeah, my bitch, blah blah blah, my bitch bad, blah 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 blah, it's just like, okay. You know, I have my own personal reservations for that, but I feel like I can like handle it. Like I'm not like a baby. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he said that, I'm offended, I'm triggered, PC. No, like no, I'm just gonna be like, okay, he said that. I can move on. You know, I have a, you know, at the end of the day, I have to do a fucking podcast. I'm not just gonna cut some shit out just because it was like, you know, saying some, you know, shit, like saying some words I don't use. You know, I will cut it out if it's just being dumb as fuck. That's when you get cut. That's when you're not interesting to me. That's when you just become generic like everybody else. But so, you know, Archangel, El Granjero, check it out. I can't pronounce it. I really wanted to pronounce that word. El Granjero. I cannot pronounce it. Fuck it. Fuck it, man. Next, we got Eleanor Mediva with a song Mensinin, maybe? It's Azerbaijani pop. The strings in this song and the driving percussion give it like this strong festive sense. Like you're just going, you jump in and you like, you know how like at the bar, is it at the bar mitzvah? No, maybe it's like the Jewish wedding where they do the thing with the chairs. I don't know. It just kind of has that beat to me. Like it just has that kind of like festive, free flowing kind of, you know, just kind of vibe. And I get the same feel from the vocalists and like, you know, flowing over the instrumentation. It has this interesting like odd time signature like around the chorus, like when it like transitions to the chorus, and then it like does this really like adventurous thing with the hook, and it is one of the more one of the most, if not the most experimental track that I've heard this week for sure. I mean, that's not saying much because ain't shit come out this week. If we're being honest, ain't shit come out this week. But the breakdown in the song is absolutely captivating too. I just love that kind of like unabashed, like I don't even know what the right word is, but I'm going to say ethnic, that bash ethnicness about like the percussion breakdowns. I don't know. That's not the right word. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. I'm sorry if anybody's triggered by me saying fucking ethnic, but ethnic. And it just makes me feel like, why is Azerbaijani pop not bigger? Like, I feel like if people heard this shit, people would just be like, this shit is fucking amazing. At least people in like the Gulf, which Azerbaijan is not in the Gulf, but I feel like if people in like Kuwait, Qatar, Yemen, I mean, I love Yemen and I hate what's going on to them, but like, let's say like Yemen got back to like a stable place or was in a stable place, you know, if those people heard like this kind of music, that like Azerbaijan would be popping all over the fucking Fertile Crescent, all over the Gulf. You know what I mean? Um, and next we got our segment Chotto, where I talked about, songs where I have a little bit to say, not too much. First we got Sakanamon with Rokuhan, what? Rokuhanto. Oh, rock band. Yeah, Rokuban. I said rock band with the rock band. The name of the song is rock band. I've only said it like 30 times. Sorry. Sorry. Japanese rock music. It's called Rock Band, and the song grew to be more interesting to me because the vocalist, after I've heard it like a few times, the vocalist is really vibrant, and I appreciate the energy the song is bringing, to be honest. Next, we got Calypso Rose with "I Am African," featuring Bungie Garland. I think that's how you pronounce his name. With what? It's a Jillionaire remix, is what I'm trying to say. It's soca, or at least it's self-proclaimed soca. You know, I don't know the difference between soca and reggae, and I'm sorry, I just don't. Um, the song is slick. It's like a remix of a remix. In addition, the addition of Bunji's, if that's how you pronounce his name, the addition of him was interesting because his delivery fits so well with that like calypso style like vocals that Roses gives or whatever. So I really fuck with that. Next we got Derece Swankena with Awadamet. Traditional Ethiopian music. There's something so spacey and like atmospheric about this that literally it's so trippy. It sounds like it's like Ethiopian music from outer space or some shit. Like it is truly a ride, kind of psychedelic. I fuck with it. Next, we got Muhammad Khalil with Kwas Habibian, maybe. Habibin. The strings, okay, the strings in Khaliji music, I think that's how you pronounce it, are typically well composed. And this song is certainly no exception. But the way he composed it just like, it sounds so expensive, but not like sexy, like you're just gonna take your girl out to dinner type shit. Your guy out to dinner type shit. Your significant other out to dinner type shit, okay? So you just, hit those up. And that's in the choto. Next we got late ones, where I talk about songs that are, up to 2 months old that I kind of missed. But, I'm going to start giving them in the order of oldest to newest. So first we got Nego Love and Major Tennis, I can't pronounce his name, Nego Tennisal, I think is how you pronounce it, with Sovai. I'm bringing this one back for the fact that MC Morello randomly re-uploaded this song like to her Instagram or something like that a few days ago, and then she uploaded that video I think to YouTube, and Dino Alves, her boyfriend, is random ass tiptoe dancing and his random ass twerking is fucking hilarious, and the bass drop in this song is crazy. So I was like, wow, this song has to be brought up like to attention. Next we got Omar Ruiz with Amando El, I don't know what this. It's 80, but like that 80 in Spanish is not 80. It's like ochenta. Yeah, Armando El 80, because I don't know how to pronounce 80 in Spanish. Ochenta. I think it's ochenta though. I'm bringing back this because I honestly used to resent Marachi. Is that how you pronounce it? Marachi music. I honestly used to resent it because I didn't like accordion at all. And I didn't like the coupling of accordion and tuba and brass. But I don't know, I'm a different person then when I was in like fucking middle school than like now. And I've been listening to a lot of, Marachi music, and I'm just like, I fuck with this, but I'm waiting for that one song. And this was that one song, but it was just like too old. So I was like, fuck, we gotta talk about this, but I don't know where to put it in. So that's why I'm bringing it back. This song made me believe. Well, it didn't make me believe. I already kind of believed. But this song restored, you know, whatever Marachi gene that I lost, if that's even a thing. You don't restore genes. I don't think so. Next we got Troll Eat Troll with Lost. Okay, I'm bringing this one back because the infectious beat switch that is so Pete C music, and I'm also bringing it back because it's Rie-san's belated birthday. Happy belated birthday, Rie-san. Or in Japanese, I'm gonna butcher this. Okay, I'm gonna try it though. Ukure ba Senagara Tanjobi o Medeto. To with two O's, okay? So that was me trying to say happy belated birthday in Japanese, Rie-san. Hope you had amazing birthday back in December. But, I had to show you that love. And that's it for today. We're going to wrap that shit up. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful life. I love you. Appreciate you. And live from the closet, the residential closet that is, I'm out.